Hello, everybody. Hello, YouTube. Hello, art history enthusiasts and visual culture aficionados. It's me again, Miss M, and I'm back with yet another video. This time, I think I'm going to be doing a coffee break, so go on, get right on, and go get your coffee ready, whether it's hot or iced, whether it's got peppermint in it or ginger or I don't know. Whatever other flavors, these holiday season flavors that they put in the coffee. Or a tea, or an Irish coffee, or a spiked tea, or cream tea, or iced tea, or something a little stronger. It's your choice. But I've decided to do a coffee break video today. I just felt like talking. And felt like talking about my two favorite subjects on this channel, which are The Shining and Kill Bill. And I've tried to make videos that weren't about The Shining, and they're doing not terrible. For my channel, for my numbers, it's not exactly horrible. But obviously, The Shining is my number one feature here. So, I've just kind of made peace with that. So that's why today I'm doing a double feature in this coffee break video. I'm going to talk about The Shining and Kill Bill, and I'm going to, I guess, shout out a couple of content creators here on YouTube that I enjoy, and I think their work is provocative and interesting and entertaining and what have you, and et cetera, and so on and so forth. Before I get into it, let me get through the church announcements. No paid promotion. No, I'm not flogging anything today. I'm just going to go ahead and remind you to like, comment, subscribe, and share the videos if you so wish. And, returning viewers, thank you for returning. New viewers, thank you for being new. And subscribers, all 203 of you, thank you so much for subscribing. I never ever thought that I would get up to 203 right now subscribers. I have, I started this back in February. It's a hobby. It's fun. It's a great way for me to just talk about these thoughts that I have about movies, art crimes, stuff that I'm into, stuff that I enjoy, stuff that you don't necessarily have the opportunity to talk to a lot of people about. And the fact that anybody subscribed and anybody's watching is just great, in my opinion. So thank you once again. So that's it for the church announcements. I've said what I wanted to say, and now let me get on into it. I'm gonna show you four videos today. This one is from The Vile Eye, analyzing evil. Bill from Kill Bill. And this one is called Nerdstalgic. That's the name of the channel. And it's called What Makes Bill One of the Most Terrifying Villains in Film History. And we've got this one. Oh, marvelous. Eyes Wide Shut is the name of the channel, and it's called The Shining Original Ending 1980. Somebody put me on this one, and I'm very happy that they did. And then last but not least, this one is kind of a new or more recent discovery for me. This channel is called Weird Darkness, Paranormal True Crime. The video itself is called The Conspiracy of Stanley Kubrick, The Shining, and the Moon Landing, and more. So I don't know which one of these. It's not so much that I want to discuss these videos, but I want to kind of discuss the topics that are that are explored in these videos. I don't know whether or not to start with The Shining or with Kill Bill. I've got a lot of thoughts floating around in my head regarding both of these movies. I'm actively working on videos for both of them recently, and I think in the next couple of days or so, I'm gonna be doing Sorry. Blanked out for a second. I'm going to be doing another Shining installment, so that'll be what? Part 9. I'll be working on part 9 for you. And then chapter 3 of Kill Bill. I've done chapter 1, I've done chapter 2, and then I'm going to do chapter 3. Just the same way that I've been doing them so far. I might do another Hunter. I might do, I don't know, maybe I'll just pick a work of art that I like and just talk about it. Like, I mean a painting or something along those lines. Let me just get into this one first because it's kind of the one that it talks about what a lot of people always mention whenever I talk with them about The Shining. If I do talk about The Shining with people, they always mention this: the moon landing. The moon landing. This is the Weird Darkness, and it's a pretty darn good channel. They've got a lot of interesting and creepy and spooky and scary topics that they cover, and this is one of them. This video is about, a year old, and this is what comes up a lot of the time when people talk about The Shining. They always seem to talk about the moon landing, and I'm wondering why. I'm wondering why, when you look at the conspiracy literature or the conspiracy videos available about The Shining, it always has to do, I know the story quite well, and I know how it's explained and described quite well, regarding, the theory that The Shining is really, actually, truly Stanley Kubrick's confession that he directed the moon landing, and that, we've never been to the moon, the United States or any country on planet Earth. No, we've never been to the moon. That was all theater, and it was done by one of the best, if not the best, director of the 20th century, Stanley Kubrick. He was the one who put it all together, and if you look up Jay Weidner, 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 and Jay is spelled Jay, I think. That's what you'll find. You'll very quickly and very easily find Weidner's theory, and I don't know if it's just his theory, or is he piggybacking off of somebody else, or are other people piggybacking off of him? I don't know, and I'm not sure, and I don't want to kind of waste my brain power on that. But just the very notion that Stanley Kubrick filmed The Shining as a confession, that that's the word, that he's confessing to filming the moon landing. I don't know. And of course, the theory itself centers on that scene in the hallway, the second time in the movie, the second time that Danny is near room 237. The first time Danny's near room 237, he rides by it on his tricycle, gets up, tries to open the door, can't open it because the door is locked. Okay, and then he, continues on. And the second time he's there, he's playing with those little toy cars or what have you on that very garishly patterned carpet, and then a ball is rolled to him, and he, we see the hallway, and nobody's there. There's nobody in the hallway that could have rolled the ball to Danny. But the room is open. It's been unlocked. The key is in the door, and it's got the red key tag on the key. And Danny walks in, and if you've seen the movie, which you probably have if you're watching this video, you know what happens after that. And when Danny gets up to explore, to walk towards room 237, he says, Mom, he thinks it's his mother. who rolled him the ball. I don't know what to think about that. I really don't. Personally, this is where I'm coming from. At this point in my analysis, at this point in my quote-unquote research, I don't even know if I should call it research. Maybe what I do is more observational than research-based. That's what I do. I notice things, and then I try to make sense of them. And if things don't make sense, that's when I especially get interested. You know what I mean? And when Danny is in the hallway and whatever, and the ball and the room is open, the door of the room is open, he happens to be wearing a sweater that's got an Apollo 11 or a rocket ship on the sweater that says Apollo 11 on it, and that is the basis of why people think that this film is Stanley Kubrick's confession. I don't think so. Please, please feel free to drop your own opinion or your own take on that or your own version of that, whether you agree or disagree with me, whether you agree or disagree with the conspiracy theory about the Apollo moon landing. Let me know. Let me know in the comments. I love reading the comments if I can see them all. Sometimes they just don't get through, and there's not a lot I can do about that, at least not at this point in my YouTube skills. But I don't believe that. I do not believe that. I don't agree. Now, maybe not I don't believe it. Maybe not that I don't believe it. I don't agree with it. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I do believe that Stanley Kubrick is trying to make sense in this movie. I know it doesn't look like it. I know there are a lot of what look what look like non sequiturs and incongruencies in this movie that cannot be easily identified or described, let alone explained. But I just don't think that he was doing that. I don't believe he was confessing to having filmed the Apollo moon landing. And I don't think he did it either. I mean, maybe he did. Maybe he did. Maybe he did film the moon landing, and I'm just being stubborn and stupid and whatever. And that's fine. That's fine. But I think he's using that scene with Danny in that sweater in the hallway with all those little trucks, and the ball, and what have you, and entering room 237 because it's open. Okay, not because in the other scene he tries to open the door, he can't, it's locked. In this scene, not only is it unlocked, but it's open. And I think that whole scene and all of the stuff that I described in it is symbolic of something. I don't know if I should talk about it now or if I should talk about it when I get to that part of the movie in my analysis series. I don't know, but it's symbolic of something. The fact that he's wearing an Apollo 11 sweater, yeah, I do believe it does have something to do with the moon, but not what the conspiracy theory says it does. That's my opinion. That's how I feel. The ball is extremely important. It is extremely important because it sort of ties the whole movie together, so to speak. And I think that's the last time we see the ball in the movie. We see it when Jack is bouncing it off of the walls in the Colorado Lounge. And then we see it again when it's rolled towards Danny. Jack throws it down the hallway, and then we don't know what happens to it. I'm going to have to look some stuff up. But so Jack throws it down the hallway, and then we don't see it again until the hallway in front of room 237. It's rolled towards Danny. Somebody rolls it. The Wendy theory says, the Wendy's crazy theory, says that it's Wendy. And if it is Wendy, which it very well might be, the Apollo 11 sweater and those little trucks and everything takes on a whole new meaning. Takes on a whole new meaning. And I think I'll just save that for when I get to that part of the movie. Or like when we should see it pretty soon. Maybe, I don't know if it's going to be in part 9 of my series, but maybe part 10, I'm not sure. The scene with Jack throwing that ball up against the wall. We'll see. We'll see about that. And I'll talk about it when I get to it. Something is up. So that's what I wanted to touch upon with this. I get asked that a lot. Do I believe that that Stanley Kubrick is confessing to filming the Apollo moon landing? No, I don't. I don't believe he's making that confession. And I'm kind of like leaning towards, no, he did not film the Apollo 11 thing. And I'm going to leave it at that. That's all I'm going to say for now. I don't think that's what he's doing there at all. I know a lot of people, a lot of Shining aficionados are just not going to like that, because a lot of people have, they're emotionally invested in that theory. I'm not totally discounting it. I'm just saying that I don't believe it. I don't agree with it. Let me know. Convince me. If you think that, no, there's no question that yes, he did do this movie as a confession of his involvement with that historic event, convince me in the comments. I welcome it. Please be respectful. Don't be beastly. Don't be mean. Don't be rude. But yeah, I'd love to hear what you all have to say. Even if I don't agree with it, that's okay. I still learn from people that I don't agree with all the time. Every day. I listen to people that I don't agree with about a lot of stuff, but I still learn a lot from them. So, that's that. The next topic, and I will, kind of do the Shining now. Oh, this is just terrifying. Let me find another thing here. But maybe that's a better one. Oh, Lord. Look at this shot of Jack sitting down in the frozen maze outside of the Overlook that probably doesn't exist. That is my opinion. That's how I feel. And then, then later this. Oh Lord, this is good. This is Eyes Wide Shut. So they do a good channel too. And this is, they do, I've been asked, and I've been pointed in this direction as far as the deleted ending, right? And you see like a screen, a still of that ending that obviously was filmed but was not included, or maybe was only included for test audiences but was cut out because, I don't know, Stanley Kubrick made an executive decision, right? Or a director's decision, rather, and said, I don't need that in this movie. And this is supposed to have been placed in the part of the movie, like right after that black and white photo of Jack or included the black and white photo including Jack from 1921. And, after that photo, then we get this. And you can look at this. I'm going to put this in the description if you want to look at it. I get asked about this so much, and I get told about this so much. I've known about it for quite some time. And it is puzzling. It is absolutely puzzling. Why? Oh, why did Stanley Kubrick film this and go to the trouble of filming this scene? And just not included in the movie, or he included it and then he cut it out again. Like, why? What was the point of all of that? I don't know if it was Stanley, playing games with his audience. Remember, this movie's all about games. And like having it shown once or having it shown to test audiences. Like he knew that the word would travel about this deleted scene and it would be a mystery in its own right. And people would wonder, why he didn't leave it in there or whatever. Or he just, as an artist, he decided, he said to himself, no, the movie's better without this. Because obviously it's not in. It's no longer part of it. If it was at one time, it's not there anymore. And this is, Stuart Ullman, visits Wendy and Danny at this hospital, I guess in Colorado. And they end up at this hospital after they flee the Overlook Hotel in the snowcat that they steal. Or not they, Wendy steals from Ullman, because Ullman, Ullman's, not Ullman, sorry, no, Halloran. Halloran's not going to use it anymore, allegedly, because he is dead. Allegedly dead. I don't know whether or not Halloran is really dead. But, because, something doesn't make sense about that scene to me either. But Ullman visits them in the hospital. Jack is nowhere to be found. And this is the script. So maybe we don't get to see that scene, but the script portion of it still exists and people can look at it online, and this video just kind of scrolls through that for you. And it's the interior of the hospital. Ullman walks forward and stops at the reception desk where Nurse and Danny are playing snakes and ladders. Oh dear. You think about that for a second. Why would Stanley have the nurse and Danny playing snakes and ladders? I don't know. But there's Danny, and there's the nurse, and then, this is the dialogue here. And I'm just going to read it from this video. I'm going to link to the video. I'm going to give Eyes Wide Shut his props. The Ullman says, hi, everybody, and then this nurse says, good evening, Mr. Ullman, and Ullman says to Danny, he says, how's it going, Danny? And Danny says, okay. Okay? Wait a minute. If Danny has been through everything he's been through that we've been shown in this hotel, there's no way in hell he could ever possibly be okay after that. I know children are resilient, but come on. His father tried to kill his mother, and then his mother pushed him out the window, and then Danny lured his father into that maze. And, that's what we're told. That's what we're shown in the movie. And how could he be okay after all of that? But never mind. And the nurse says he's doing just fine. Aren't we, Danny? And Danny says, yes. Okay, let me red ball through this. Oh, come on. It shouldn't be like a whole bunch of dialogue, I don't think. Yeah, he's doing just fine. Aren't we, Danny? Yes. Okay. And then, he leaves the reception desk and walks towards the open door where the policeman sits. So there's a policeman. He leaves the reception desk and walks towards the open door where a policeman sits. Okay, and Ullman says to the policeman, how's it going? And the policeman says, just fine. Interesting. Now, let's see what else we got here. This is obviously kind of a slow-moving video. And wait. Just fine. Ullman knocks on door. Ugh. Okay, so he says, Mrs. Torrance, ? So is the policeman posted outside of Wendy's room? That's the question that I've got. Ullman says to policeman, how you doing? He says, just fine. And he says, Mrs. Torrance, ? Wendy says, come in. Ullman enters. Ullman, hi, how are you feeling today? Wendy says, much better. Almond says, "Good, that's really good to hear. You're looking wonderful. Oh, by the way, I bought you these flowers." Huh. And Wendy says, "Thank you." And then Almond says, "Oh, God. Danny's looking real well. He seems to have adjusted very well, all things considered." Okay. Oh, I spoke to... Who'd you speak to? Lieutenant Elliot on the way over here, and he said they finished with this silly business about their investigation. He said he'd be over here this evening to tell you himself. Wendy, does this mean we're free to leave? Almond, of course you are. Oh, about the things you saw at the hotel. He told me they've really gone over the place with a fine-tooth comb, and they didn't find the slightest evidence of anything at all out of the ordinary. Mrs. Torrance, I think I know how you must feel about this, but it's perfectly understandable for someone to imagine such things when they've been through something like you have. You mustn't think about it any more. Have you decided where you're going when you leave here? Oh, son of a... Wow. Whew. They finished with their silly business about their investigation. So the Ullman, he's just dismissing and poo-pooing the police's investigation of the hotel and whatever happened there and whatever. He said... This Lieutenant Elliot said he'd be over here this evening to tell you himself. And what is Wendy's response to that? Does this mean we're free to leave? Is she under arrest? Is she in this hospital because of injuries she sustained physically, or because is it a mental situation? Is it mental health that is the reason why Wendy is in this hospital? Because she didn't really get hurt. We didn't see her nobody struck her. Nobody tried to come at her with a knife. Well, Jack tried to, from what we saw, he busted in the door, but he didn't touch Wendy with that axe. As a matter of fact, she's the one that hit him with the knife and drew blood from his hand. Okay, and Wendy's fine. Physically. Mentally? I don't know. And anyway, she asks whether or not they're free to leave. And Ullman says, of course you are. Ullman is the man in this, place in Colorado. Everybody knows him. He knows everybody. I already told you why I think that is in my previous videos. And, I won't repeat it here. This will just give you incentive to watch the other videos if you're a new viewer. But just think about this for a second. If Halloran is dead, okay, then Halloran is dead. If Jack is dead, then Jack is dead. If we're going to believe that those two things happened, that they both died or were murdered or whatever. Who's not dead? Wendy. So if they're investigating anybody in this situation, it's going to be her. You know what I mean? Because like a lot of people interpret this movie as like, oh, big bad Jack killed Halloran, tried to kill Wendy. And he tried to kill Wendy, and they were interrupted by Halloran showing up. Okay, goes downstairs, chops Halloran with the axe, and then he goes looking for, I guess, Danny. All right, and then he tried to kill his wife, successfully killed Halloran, and now he's on the hunt for his son. And but he's the one that ends up dying. So in a situation like that, if you were the police, if you were an investigator, if you went to a place and, let's say, found Halloran's dead body and then Jack's dead body in the maze, like, you would question Wendy, wouldn't you? You'd be like, they're dead. Halloran and Jack are dead, but Wendy is alive and well. So, yeah, she's being investigated, isn't she? Um, and then, is she free to leave? She wants to know if she's free to leave. And Ullman says, of course you are. About the things that you saw at the hotel. They went over, he, I guess Lieutenant Elliot, told Ullman that they've really gone over the place with a fine-tooth comb, and they didn't find the slightest evidence of anything at all out of the ordinary. This is why I believe that Stanley Kubrick cut this out. He maybe tested it and said, yeah, no, I'm going to cut that out because this gives the movie away. This exposes the Wendy is crazy thing, nothing out of the ordinary. They didn't find the slightest evidence of anything at all out of the ordinary. Wait a minute. No dead bodies? Or like Jack, he had a tantrum and he started throwing stuff in the kitchen and whatever. He didn't find that. What else? What else did he mess up? They didn't find the fucked up snowcat in the garage. They didn't find the messed up radio in Halloran's office. That's just the other, the inanimate objects. What about the dead bodies? They didn't find anything out of the ordinary. Jesus Christ. What kind of investigators are these? Either Ullman is the most connected person on planet Earth, and they're just gonna pretend like Jack never existed or whatever and bury him somewhere in the woods, or I don't know. And Halloran too, for that matter. Or those people are not dead. They didn't find anything out of the ordinary, such as 2 dead bodies, because there were no 2 dead bodies to find. This is why Stanley Kubrick cut this out, because, yeah, Mrs. Torrance, I think I know how you must feel, yada, 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 yada. You mustn't think about it anymore. Have you decided where you're going when you leave here? So Ullman wants to know what her plans are. Okay. She's free to go because nobody's dead. That's why she's free to go. Okay? I'm just thinking I'm not thinking in sequence, so I'm sorry about this. You know I like to ramble and go on tangents and whatever. If you didn't, you wouldn't be here. But yeah, she's free to go because she didn't kill anybody. Nobody's dead. Maybe Wendy's crazy, but maybe she's not capable of murder. I don't know. But Halloran wants to know, what's her next move after she's done? Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. I guess they give you plenty of time. Okay, Wendy says no, she doesn't know. And then Ullman said she doesn't know where she's going to go. All right. And Ullman says, I guess, if Jack is not dead, that is my belief. If Jack isn't dead, he probably doesn't want her. Okay? If Jack is not dead, he's not frozen in the maze. He's not in the freezer or wherever. He's just not dead. He's probably the one that called Ullman, not Wendy. And I think the Wendy Theory video talks about that. I'm not going to dwell on that, but yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and say it, what the hey. After Jack saw Danny's injuries, and Jack knew that he didn't do it. Jack knew what time it is, or what time it was. It was time for him to finally do something about Wendy. And he couldn't stand the thought of staying there with her for any longer in that isolated hotel, far the hell away from everything and everyone. He said, nope, gotta go get some help. This is too much. She's becoming violent. So anyway, Yeah, if Jack is not dead, like, he probably doesn't want her around anymore if she's capable of, like, strangling a child. Um, he says, Mrs. Torrance Ullman says, I'd like to take the liberty of suggesting that you and Danny come and spend a while at my place in L.A., at least until you get your feet on the ground. It would be great for Danny. It's right on the beach. Okay, Ullman has fucking money. If he can live on the beach in Los Angeles, shit, yeah. Beachfront property has always been expensive, whether it's now or back in the late 1970s. That's always been prime real estate. It's right on the beach. You fall asleep with the sound of the waves. Oof. And in the morning, you open the shutters, and there you are, ocean, blue skies, and sunshine. It wouldn't be any trouble at all. I've got a marvelous housekeeper and 2 spare bedrooms. I really think this would be the best thing for you and Danny. I won't take no for an answer. Did I mention? I mean, I'm being sarcastic, but, like, did I already mention that I think Ullman is a pimp? You saw that photo. Like, wait a minute, hold on. You saw that photo at the beginning, right? And he's wearing this great big fur coat. I know it's cold. I know there's, like, a terrible blizzard going on outside, and I know it warrants, like, serious winter clothing for, to protect oneself from the cold temperatures. But this coat is still too much. He's dressed like a goddamn pimp. I'm sorry, I just can't get that out of my mind. There's no way he's not a pimp in my mind. Or maybe I shouldn't use the word pimp. Maybe I should be much nicer and more polite. Procurer. He's a procurer, or he manages this. The Overlook Hotel. He manages it. It's, what is it? A recreational facility. Is that what we should call it? Not a brothel. Not a house of prostitution. No, a resort. Let's call it that. A resort, a recreational facility, whatever. Okay, he's a pimp. Shit. And he has so much money that he can live on the beach in L.A., and he's got a housekeeper. I mean, how much do they pay him? He manages a hotel in the middle of freaking nowhere. Like, I mean, I don't know. And he lives in Los Angeles. And, like, Halloran lives in Miami, Ullman lives in Los Angeles. We don't know where the hell Watson lives. But, he's shady as hell, too. And he won't take no for an answer. I think he's recruiting Wendy. Ullman walks to the reception counter. Okay. All right. Ullman continued. I'm on my way. Okay, I brought Mrs. Torrance some flowers. Could you have someone put them in a vase for her? Nurse, yes, I will. Ullman says to Danny, goodbye, Danny. See you tomorrow. Danny says bye. Ullman moves away, then turns. And then Ullman says, oh, Danny, I forgot to give you this. Catch. He throws the yellow ball to Danny. See you tomorrow, Danny. Ullman leaves. Hold on, Danny. Okay. This is... we have to look at this. We have to look at this a little bit more when we get to that part of the movie. You guys, if I forget, you remind me. It says here, oh, Danny, I forgot to give you this. Catch. He throws a yellow ball to Danny. The ball that rolled towards Danny in the hallway in front of room 237 was not yellow, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, no, that ball was not yellow. I think it was pink. I'm not going to check now. I know some of you will go ahead and check for me. Please do. Please help me out. Go ahead and let me know. I'm pretty sure it wasn't yellow. It was pink, which is another shade of red. Remember how red is a very, very important color in this movie? The ball was pink. That rolled towards Danny in that hallway. Listen, something's up. Something's up with that damn ball. And Ullman somehow found it. The last time we saw it was right before Danny walked into room 237. Lord Jesus. Lord Jesus. Ullman is sending Danny like a very strong message in this deleted scene. What is the message? What is the message? So that means Ullman has been to the hotel. He found the ball. Where did he find the ball? In the hallway? Somewhere else? Who knows? He throws it to Danny, and he says, "See you tomorrow, Danny." So this is very ominous. This is very creepy. This is very scary. I felt like talking about this today because it's a deleted scene. It's not going to be a part of my analysis series because it's not there for me to analyze. It's not part of the movie. But this is something that people keep asking me about, and they keep, somebody sent me the link to this video, so I'm putting this in my description so you can watch it too and, ponder over this or ruminate over this in your own time, in your own way. What the fuck is going on? Let me know about the color of the ball. Is it yellow or pink? The one in the hallway in front of room 237. I'm thinking it's pink, unless I've lost my mind, which, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised about. What the hell? What the hell? And then we get this. Internal lobby, track past furniture covered in dust sheets. To picture on background wall. Oh, this is when we see the... Oh, excuse me. I made a mistake. This scene is before the scene with the black and white photo, including Jack. Fade into this title onto black. The Overlook Hotel would survive this tragedy, as it had so many others. It is still open each year from May 20th to September 20th. It is closed for the winter. The end. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Would survive this tragedy as it had so many others. It is still open each year from May 20th to September 20th. So, September 9 minus 5. September is the 9th month of the year. May is the 5th month of the year. 9 minus... How much is 9 minus 5? 4? This place is open for 4 months? Wait a minute, am I missing something? From May 20th to September 20th. And why exactly the 20th? I don't know. It is closed for the winter. May, June, July, August, September. Yeah, 4 months. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. But there it is. There it is. And then we see this, credits. And then this, it loops over again. I think this video. So please go ahead and watch this video. The person who put this up has done us all a great favor, given us all a great deal. To think about. It says it would survive this tragedy, which would maybe lead you to believe that Halloran and Jack are dead. But that's not necessarily what it means, especially if we cannot rely on logic. With regard to this movie, we can't believe our own eyes. Just because we're seeing a scene of somebody get chopped with an axe doesn't mean it's actually really happening in the world of the movie. I don't know how else to articulate that, but that's as good as I can do for now. This is weird. I'm going to come back to this in the future. I have a feeling I will be coming back to this in the future. It's closed for the winter. Okay, thank you, Eyes Wide Shut. Wow. You guys drop it in the comments if, your thoughts, your observations, your, what should I call them? Your arguments, whatever. Your own theories. I want to hear it. I want to see it. Let me know. Now, let me get into Kill Bill, right? So this is the one, the Vile Eye, analyzing evil Bill from Kill Bill, and what makes Bill one of the most terrifying villains in film history. This is the person's Nerdstalgics. That's the name of the channel. That is oh Lord, that is Nerdstalgic's argument. That Bill is one of the most terrifying villains in film history. Is that true? Well, in this person's opinion, I guess it is, and I can see where they're coming from. And that's one thing that The Shining and Kill Bill have in common. There's a villain in each movie. There's a villain, except with well, let me think about this for a second. I was gonna say, in Kill Bill, we know exactly who that villain is, Bill. Maybe we don't. Maybe that's not the case. Maybe Bill isn't. Oh boy. Yeah, maybe Bill isn't the villain. I was going to say, in Kill Bill, we know who the villain is, and in The Shining, we don't. We think we do, but we don't. And I thought that was the difference between the two. But now that I really think about it for a couple of seconds, we don't really know who the true villain of Kill Bill is. Is it Bill? That's Beatrix's ultimate goal on her kill list. She has to kill all those people to get to Bill. That's the one she really wants. I mean, she wants to kill everybody. They all did her wrong, but Bill is the ringleader. So, but is he the villain? And according to this one, not just the villain, but one of the most terrifying villains in film history. Watch these videos. I'm putting them here for a reason. I want you to watch each and every one of these. They're good. It's good stuff. These people do good work. So I'm not here just to make my own videos. I like turning you on to other stuff that other people have done that makes me think and gives me a reason to rethink things that I was just sure about. And then, I read stuff, I look at stuff, and I get new ideas and whatever, and I'm like, wait a minute, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm prejudiced. Maybe I have some kind of bias that I'm not aware of until I see some new information, or I see somebody else's interpretation or take on the matter. So it's always good to challenge your own certitudes, because those can be quite limiting in more ways than one, not just for analyzing movies, but for other things too. And that's why I'm kind of doing these movies. I know there's a lot of good movies out there, and I'm still waiting for suggestions. I think Anno Domini suggested The Fall of the House of Usher. Not the one with Vincent Price, but the other one. I'm going to look at that. I haven't forgotten Anno Domini, so, bear with me. But there's something about these two movies. They are both dealing with some kind of villainy and pinpointing the villain, or maybe the person that we think is the villain is actually just a cover for the real villain. We've spent years and years thinking that Jack was the villain in The Shining. Maybe it's not Jack. Maybe it's actually Wendy. Maybe she's the villain. Or maybe it's not even Wendy who's the villain. Maybe it's been Ullman the whole time. Okay. That's one possibility. And with Kill Bill, we think the ultimate villain is Bill in the world of the movie. Maybe it's not that either. Maybe Bill and his existence and his activities and whatever is just cover for another even bigger and badder villain that is maybe the presence that bigger badder villain's presence is felt in the movie, if you know how to look, or you know how to kind of sense things. But you never see that villain, that bigger badder villain. We barely see Bill, let alone maybe the person or the thing or the organization or the entity or whatever that he's running interference for. So, I've been thinking an awful lot about this lately. I've been thinking an awful lot about this lately. And, but yeah, is Bill's terrifying because why? He doesn't do much. People just follow his orders. I mean, the only person we actually see him fight is Beatrix. And that's at the very end of the movie. I can't wait until we get to that chapter. I can't wait to tie this whole thing together for you. At least, the way I look at the movie. I don't know which one I want to work on first. My next installment of analyzing or understanding The Shining, or my next installment of my Kill Bill series. I don't know. I'm going to do probably one of each in this coming week, so stay tuned for that. But, look at these pictures. This is before the massacre. Yeah. This is the Deadly Viper assassination squad outside of the church. I won't say the name of the church. There's these characters that we're gonna be dealing with later in the movie. There's, Bill's father figure, Esteban. There's Aranishi. We just saw. Where is he? Yeah, Bud, Sheriff, Earl, McGraw. Yeah. Who else are they going to show us? Yeah, him. Is Beatrix without sin? That's another question we need to be asking about this movie. Is the Beatrix character? Yes, she's fighting all of these people, and her mission is to slay all of these people. But is she herself without sin? Should she be casting stones? I don't know. But there's something else to think about with regard to this movie. She's not perfect. She lived the kind of life that these people are into before she got pregnant. And whatever. But, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to talk about. Yeah. What it says here, nostalgic. Story of a wronged woman. Okay. Yeah, and they talk about this, that, and the other. They show pictures of David Carradine when he was younger. And I mean, please do watch this video. And then there's also this, okay? So there's these damn ads. Bud and his spit cup. Oof. I want to get a better look at that spit cup when we get to that part of the movie, and I want to get a better look at his tattoos too. There's, he's dropping her off at Pi Maze, the whole thing. And so we don't see a lot of Bill. We just don't see a lot of Bill in this movie. We see, this one. The hateful bitch, L Driver. Bud's trailer. Oh, Lord, no. It's acting up on me. Ugh, thanks a lot. An ad. But listen, I've taken up almost an hour of your time. And I've said what I think I need to say in this coffee break. I've talked about The Shining. Shout out to Eyes Wide Shut. I'm definitely going to link to this. And these discussing... Go away. Discussing Kill Bill. So, you guys, if you have any questions, comments, statements, concerns, criticisms, please drop it in the comments. I would love to hear what you have to say about either of these two movies. I'm very into them. And like I said, I'm going to try and do more art analysis, images, or not images, but videos in the future, analyzing specific individual images. That's what I really want to do. And if you have ideas for that, if there's any work of art that you want me to break down for you, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Drop me an email, whatever. So with all of that being said, I think I want to finish it on this one. This one. I think that's it for right now. I think I've taken up more than enough of your time for this video. So until next time, I hope everybody had a great Turkey Day. I hope you're going to have a great holiday season between now and the end of this month of December. Take care and have a lovely, lovely, lovely December. And until the next video, whether it's a Kill Bill or a Shining installment, or me analyzing a work of art, or whatever, I'm going to go ahead and bid you bye-bye. So, bye-bye, everybody.